Look, I really don't see why this is necessary, dude.
Really?
Really?
I mean, Josh has been down lately.
Yeah, okay, he's not his normal Christmassy self and all that, but, like, this is doofy, man. I feel like an idiot.
This will cheer him up.
He's cheery enough as it is. Hey, Bubby. You feeling a little bit better? Oh, come on. I'm sure there's something we can do to make you feel better about Christmas this year. Hey everyone, welcome to the newest episode of NerdKO. I'm Muzz.
And I'm Josh.
And we have a lot of really interesting and cool stuff for our special Christmas episode.
Indeed.
Yes. So we're going to start off with our favorite Christmas movies.
Yep. And then after that, we're going to move on to Gifts for Geeks. These are our ideas in a few different categories for the geek in your life and what to get them for Christmas.
Yep. And we're going to finish it up with games that take place in the snow. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be a game that's entirely in the snow, like,
right,
you know, through the whole game, but it's something with, like, even one level.
Yeah, snow's
really
going to make an appearance.
Yes, but,
yeah,
you know, it's got to be a major factor in at least that level.
Oh, yeah, it has to be.
But we'll try to keep it as snowy as possible, and we'll get to our first segment.
Yep, let's do it.
Alright, so now we thought we'd just sit around and tell you about some Christmas movies we loved, and you know, if it's something you haven't watched, check it out yourself, and if you have, well, you'll understand why we like them so much, I guess. So.
Yeah. And it's important to know, like, we're just doing like one each and picking just, you know, one that's special to us. That we're not by any means, you know, discounting some of the classics that you'd be like, why isn't that movie there? Because we'll probably do an honorable.
But we're not going to talk about Miracle on 34th Street, so. We're not going to talk about It's a Wonderful Life.
I'll get over it.
But I think
we're not going to talk about It's a Wonderful Life.
We're younger guys, and I think we like more recent, you know, movies that, I don't know, they fit in with our generation. There are a lot of great classic Christmas movies.
Oh yeah, they're right.
But some of them are just, they've become iconic to us, and
right.
It will be
like beating a dead horse for us to just go on about it.
Right.
Right.
So, go ahead with your choice.
My first one, and I know a lot of you love this movie too, is easily going to be Elf, because to me that was just an instant classic. I mean, you had Bob Newhart in it, which was amazing as, you know, Buddy's dad. Will Ferrell is Buddy the Elf, of course. Goes to New York, totally out of his element, trying to find his actual dad after he discovers that he is not, in fact, elf people, because he's like 6'9" or whatever. Alright, he's probably not that tall, but he's still pretty tall. And it is just, it's one of those movies that's not only hilarious, but it's also just like, it really is like the Christmas spirit, like that warm, fuzzy feeling. Like, I hate to say it sounds kind of goofy, but it's totally true. So,
and
that would be my pick.
One of my favorite things about that movie is at the beginning in Santa's workshop, first and foremost, Santa's workshop and all the creatures in the North Pole were actually designed after Rudolph, the 1964 Rudolph
yeah, that's
special.
right.
So you'll see that those elves, their outfits actually mirror the Rudolph elves, and the workshop mirrors the workshop from the 1964 Rudolph, which is crazy. Also, Ming Ming the elf, who kind of like tries to console Buddy for not being able to make Etch-a-Sketches fast enough. That's actually, I forget his name in real life, but the dude who played Ralphie in A Christmas Story, which is one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies. Yeah, I know. Not everyone likes it.
You shut your mouth.
It's a wonderful movie, and it's got Ralphie from A Christmas Story in it, which is also awesome.
Yep.
And it is truly a great movie, easily one of my all-time favorites.
Who plays Santa at the mall in Elf?
In Elf?
Was
that's Artie Lang.
Yeah.
Artie Lang, yeah.
Beef and cheese.
You sit on a throne of lies. Okay, so I'll go into mine. And I picked something really obscure, and a lot of you probably haven't seen this movie. It's just called Santa Claus. But you can't just watch Santa Claus. You can check out Santa Claus on Netflix if you want. I believe it's still up. I know it was before. And it's just this horrible movie, but there's a great version of it that the Mystery Science Theater 3000 guys did. And they make it just this awesome experience, and it's great. You're watching this corny, terrible Christmas movie. Just the worst Christmas movie they do. They make it wonderful to watch. And it's just so great. I love Mystery Science Theater, and anything, you know, these guys do is okay by me. But they take this Christmas movie and just make it spectacular. And I'm not even going to try to tell you about the movie. It's the weirdest, most bizarre, borderline racist at parts.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's not borderline racist. It's racist
kinda
because
racist.
the beginning when they go through the Christmas songs and they're like, and the children in Africa, and they're like, and you're like, really? So this movie is just outstanding. It's so funny, but it's really good to watch, and it's a lot of fun. And anything those guys do, it's funny.
They make everything better.
Yeah, so it's a totally different kind of Christmas experience for your Christmas movie viewing. It might be something you've never seen, and if that's the case, that's kind of awesome. So give it a shot. Santa Claus Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah, and you can actually watch it all on YouTube. We're gonna put a link up for you.
Yeah.
So you can watch the whole thing.
I totally forgot. The whole movie is on YouTube.
Yeah, because I don't think anyone's gonna probably file a copyright claim on that one.
Right.
Just be careful who's around when you watch it.
Yeah.
No joke.
So what's yours?
I'm gonna pick Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad.
Sinbad.
It's about a movie of two fathers that are trying to find their sons the perfect gift, which happens to be Turbo Man. And no one has it, and they come across a couple places that do have it, and they end up fighting for numbers, and they go on this wild goose chase through the whole city, and you know, there's a cop that they interact with that wrong place at the wrong time with this dude, and it's hilarious. One of Phil Hartman's best movies by far.
Phil Hartman.
You know, it's sad that he's no longer with us, but
yeah, that's the thing. Like, I watched this movie the other day when I was putting on my Christmas tree. Actually, it was on Netflix, and I was checking it out. And interesting tidbit: a lot of some of the great Arnold quotes that you've heard on Arnold soundboards all over the internet came from this movie. You know, like the "I'm not a pervert" was straight from Jingle All the Way.
Definitely a good watch. Definitely a good watch.
And, you know, it's like some of the comedy in that is a little bit dated. Like you'll feel like, oh, that's kind of, you know. But overall, the movie is totally worth watching.
Yeah.
And it just it's I don't know. I've had that experience where I go out and I'm trying to look for that. You know, it's like trying to find an Xbox One or a PS4 right now.
Yeah,
right.
You know,
or Tickle Me Elmo in like '96.
Yeah, everyone's coming to the store asking me, "Do you have a PS4? I need one for my kid." And I'm like, I can't get PS4s right now.
You're not going to find it.
You mess with
you're that guy. Another thing about that movie is just Sinbad's role as like the total psycho postal worker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With jokes that really wouldn't fly well today.
No.
They would not be politically correct.
No.
We'll just put it that way.
Yeah. But overall, I think it's a great movie.
Right.
Yeah. Honorable mention, I think, Christmas Vacation.
Yeah. Oh,
definitely is one of them. We talked about a bunch of them earlier. Now
go ahead and say a Christmas Story again. I know you want to say it again.
Christmas Story. I love that movie. It's great. But
so, what's your favorite scene from Christmas Vacation before we go?
I don't think I could say it on here because I think it would be.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm gonna
Clark immediately knows what
Clark
it is.
Griswold's rant.
Right. Yeah. Griswold rant.
I'm gonna go with the dinner table where the dog's eating the turkey underneath the dinner table. It's okay, Clark.
Yakking on a bone.
Yeah, I think every scene from that movie is a great scene from that movie.
It's a good one.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite Christmas movie? Leave a comment and let us know what you think, or if you've seen the ones we talked about, tell us what you think of those.
Yep.
Alright, so for my Christmas picks, I'm going to stick with video game related paraphernalia, consoles, and all that sort of thing. So, first off, anything you see in a video game store is good for a gamer. Let's just get right down to it. Gamers are very simple people to shop for. I mean, we're happy with anything, I figure. But the way most people look at it is that they get intimidated. They're afraid to buy something for their gamer in their family because they figure, oh, they might already have this, I don't want to mess with it, or I don't know what's good and what isn't. And really, when it comes right down to it, you want to walk into your gamer's room, you want to take an inventory of what they've got. And you know, a lot of gamers like myself, I keep all mine on a spreadsheet, and I offer it to my family. Hey, if you want to see what I have, I'll give you my spreadsheet, you can just take a look at it. Anything that's not on that spreadsheet is good, or anything that you don't inventory in their game collection is good. Find them a nice game. I also recommend getting classic games for new gamers. So you've got a gamer who's into, like, maybe they've never played on anything but like an Xbox or, you know, whatever. Get them something old school. Catch them a Super Nintendo if they don't already have one. Give them some good games, some Mario titles, or, you know, Metroid, or whatever the case may be. And like kind of just give them the experience of retro gaming that maybe you grew up with when you were a kid. Also little things like here I've got the Portal 2 blind box figures, and these are just incredible. They're little turrets, and each one is different. A couple of those in a stocking is a great idea. There's a lot of different things you can do, and there's really no limit to it. When you're buying something for a gamer, just make sure it's not something they already have. And if you don't know, just take a stock of what they do have and tell them, hey, don't buy anything else for yourself until Christmas is over, because maybe I'm getting you something that you might already have. And if you want to get really crazy, you can really find obscure items. I found these on Amazon. They were never released in America, and they're 11th Dr. Sonic Screwdriver Wii remotes. You know? And I don't care who you are. If you're a gamer and a Doctor Who fan, that's a win. And there are a lot of gifts like that. So just check on what they already have, look into what you can get for them to add to that collection, or offer them a new experience in gaming, and I'm sure they'll be happy. So that's something to consider when you're shopping for a gamer in your household.
Alright, so I'm here to talk about tech gifts. That's stuff you can get for the person in your life who's like a techie, really into like computers or gadgets or that kind of thing. And I'm just going to go with two different ones. The first thing I'm going to say is the Logitech K810 wireless Bluetooth rechargeable keyboard. Despite being a mouthful, it's actually a really small, really efficient keyboard that I absolutely adore. The cool thing about it is it actually pairs with 3 different devices at once, so you can instantly switch between using like a phone, a tablet, and a computer, for example. It takes about 30 minutes to charge it, and that charge will last for about 30 days. I did an expanded review on geekspodcast.com if you want to check it out, but it's usually anywhere from $79.99 to $89.99. You can get the K810 or the K811. The only real difference that I can see is the K811 looks a little bit shinier, and it's got an Apple command button instead of the Windows logo button that the K810 says. So if your person's a PC or a Mac, you might want to take that into consideration, but it's an awesome buy. Alright, for the second gift that I'll suggest is the Google Chromecast. Now, I've also done a video review of this before, but really it absolutely bears mentioning. It's absurdly cheap for what it does, about 35 bucks, and at one point they were even doing it for $35, and they were throwing in 3 free months of Netflix, which is a really good deal, making the unit cost about $11. So if you're not familiar, the Google Chromecast is kind of like a competitor to Apple TV. It basically lets you use any iOS device or any Android device and stream YouTube, Netflix, music, to your television. It kind of plugs into one of the HDMI ports there and gets powered off of a USB port. It's actually really small, really efficient, and really just an awesome gift for anybody. I mean, you could, grab a few of them even because they're just dirt cheap. They're pretty reliable for the most part, at least in my experience with them. I have had some hiccups here and there, but not enough to not warrant, the $35 price. It's a really good deal, and anybody who is tech-minded at all will appreciate this, because anything that lets you stream media, from your phone to your TV is a pretty sweet buy for Christmas, and should be good for throwing all those Christmas movies up. So yeah, those would be my 2 picks for tech.
Okay, so my gifts are going to be in the movie and television area, and the first gift I'm going to suggest is the Breaking Bad Blu-ray DVD complete set. It comes in a barrel that they actually used to put cash in on the actual last season, and all of the DVDs are in order. You pull them out in little trays. It's actually pretty neat, and it actually comes with the Los Pollos apron that they used in the chicken joint that Gus ran in the 3rd season, I believe. And it's a little pricey, but for the true fan of Breaking Bad, it's definitely worth the money. You can catch it for around $3.27 on Amazon, and maybe you can get it used or somewhere around that area for $100 cheaper, I would say, if you look hard enough. Then my second gift is obviously going to be a little bit cheaper than the last one, but get somebody a Netflix subscription for $7.99 a month for instant streaming. It's the gift that keeps on giving. There's thousands of movies that you can watch, and there are good titles on there nowadays, and an unbelievable amount of television shows that you can get into. And like I said earlier, it's the gift that keeps on giving, and who knows, you may hip somebody to some new shows while they're watching it.
Alright, now we're going to talk about some of our favorite video games that take place in really crappy weather where it's all snowy outside, and just kind of games that are super cold and have that kind of aesthetic.
Yep.
I'm going to kick it off by starting easily Metal Gear Solid for the PlayStation, the original. Well, not technically the original, but certainly the one that's most fondly remembered by a lot of gamers, I think. The whole time you're trying to investigate Metal Gear, and it's snowy and horrible outside, and you're in Alaska, and it's just, I'm kind of a seasonal gamer that way. I like to play cold games when there's cold weather. When it starts to get spring and happy outside, I'll play like Eternal Sonata or something like that, something happier. But I just thought that game was, obviously, it's a classic.
Right. Groundbreaking for its time, and it's been been a legend among games ever since.
Oh yeah.
I mean, worth playing by any standard, but here in the cold time of year, kind of appropriate.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what about you?
The first one I'll talk about is, and I would jump right off and say The Thing. I've talked about The Thing before, but a great game that takes place in the Arctic. Outstanding game, but I'm not going to talk about The Thing because I've already talked about it in a prior video. So if you go back and you check, I talk all about The Thing.
Right.
I will talk about South Park.
Oh, so good.
South Park. I played it on the Nintendo 64.
That's what I played it on.
And you had your choice of control schemes. You can either go with the 2 rock or the brown eye gold scheme, and or the control scheme, and it was just so fun. In any game where you can throw yellow snowballs at people is a total winner in my book. No, I love that game.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. If I remember, I think it had 4-player multiplayer, didn't it? Didn't it do split screen? Because I remember playing with my friends, and they were just like, "Oh, this is amazing! South Park's in a game."
And it wasn't that it was so amazing. I mean, it really wasn't a great game.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it had a lot of control issues. It was pretty spotty and choppy.
But it was the novelty.
Right, the novelty of playing as the characters and seeing them in 3D for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
It was just so fun, and I think even today I look back at that game and I go, oh, fun. If anyone asked me, I'd say it's fun. Right. So, what about you? What's next?
Let's see. The next one I will say, and I feel like a lot of people are going to agree with me on this. Super Mario 64. One, I got the game for Christmas, so it was already kind of like seasonally appropriate again. But whenever you do the winter level in Super Mario 64, like when you have to race the penguin to the bottom. I mean, first of all, I think you have to do it solo, and then you have to race the penguin to try to get the star. And just like, it was just such an amazing layout for the level, and it was just maddening when you would try to walk across the bridge, and the gusts of wind would try to blow you off and everything. Just an amazing snow level.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go a little more obscure on this one and say Christmas Nights. Now, this was a game for the Saturn. You can't get it in America. It was released in Japan, but there is a sampler disc you can get for your American Saturn. That was the Christmas Nights sample disc. And it's Nights 3D, but with the whole Christmas theme. And really, for its time, it's just so pretty and it's so Christmassy and happy. Totally a cool collectible, to own and to have in your collection, and a pretty fun game to play. And if you don't have a Japanese Saturn, that's fine. Just get that sampler disc if you can find it, and you'll enjoy it. I mean, really, how much time can you put into Nights? I mean, if you own the sample disc, it's fine. It's more than enough. But I highly recommend it and say, everyone should try it out.
See, like, to me, just hearing your description of it, Christmas Nights, to me, sounds like it would be an amazing piece of DLC for a modern game or a modern incarnation.
Yeah. If they re-release Nights, they could add that to it, and it would be really cool. Of course, they would never do that because that's giving you too much for your money.
Too much.
But they don't want to do that.
We're really
even around Christmas time, they don't want to do that. What else? You talked about your two, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I talked about my two, but there are a couple
Some honorable mentions.
Yeah, we definitely want to talk about Max Payne.
I was going to say, like, I would say Max Payne.
Max Payne is it's such a gritty, beautiful game. I think even by today's standards.
Oh yeah, and the weird thing, it did bullet time before the Matrix did it, which is interesting. They were already kind of.
I think Max Payne was one of the first games to ever use bullet time. And I remember playing it for that first time when I leapt through the air and it slowed down and I was shooting, and I just thought it was brilliant.
Oh yeah, it was like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. What else?
Other games that had snow. I mean, we could say any of the snowboard. SSX Tricky.
SSX.
Snowboard Kids. 1080 degree snowboarding.
Lost Planet.
Oh yeah, Lost Planet.
Yeah, Lost Planet's a good one. They're extreme. There are a lot of really good games.
What about Cameo Elements of Power for the 360? Didn't it have a snow level?
I never got very far in that one.
Whatever. I beat it for the achievements. I confess.
I don't want to talk about it. I haven't really played into it.
You're like, no, it didn't. Next subject.
Well, Cameo was that game I got with my 360, and I was like, next gen game. Oh,
whatever. You bought Knack. I don't want to hear it.
I know. Knack is that game for this gen. Knack is this gen's Cameo.
Nice.
But that's not Christmassy, so I'm not going to dwell on it.
Right. It's fine.
But if you do buy a PS4 for someone for Christmas, don't bother with Knack.
Or Battlefield 4. Don't buy Battlefield 4. At least not until they fix everything.
Right. So. Well, that's some games that take place in the snow. Ooh. GoldenEye. The Siberia mission.
How did we almost miss that?
Yeah, that was this broad, flat, open, snowy surface.
Yeah.
And you had free reign to come at your enemies from any direction.
Yep.
Take your time, snipe them, move forward, check out all those different...
Sniping in that level is the best.
Oh, so good. I can't believe we almost forgot that. I'm sorry. And on that note...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're done with this segment.
Yes. Let us know your favorite snow games. We're done. Alright, that's all we've got this time, so thank you so much for an amazing year. Actually, check out the NerdKO show. We've had a ton of fun putting it together.
Yeah, it's been really good, so we hope you've enjoyed the content we've given you. And I don't know what we're doing for the next episodes. Things are a little bit crazy right now, Josh.
Actually, that's entirely my fault. I'm actually taking Journey to Louisville for anywhere from 5 to 6 months, so we're going to have to figure out a creative way to either do more videos or a podcast or something, but NerdKO will continue, Geeks Podcast will continue, there will still be a ton of content for you guys, so don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, we're going to do as much as we can, and until then, just make sure you keep checking us out. That's youtube.com/geekspodcast for him, and youtube.com/L1games for me. And we'll keep it coming at you. Don't worry. And in a few months, it'll all be back on the regular schedule again. So I know content up till now has been a little bit spotty, and it may continue to be for a little bit, but what you get is going to be worthwhile. So check it out.
So again, thanks so much for watching, and have an amazing holiday season. And a great New Year. And we'll see you soon.
Merry Christmas.
See ya.
You guys me up.
Merry Christmas. You know how I feel.
I said it. I said Merry Christmas. What?
That's gonna happen. So, what is that?
It was my Madonna nipple.